is echo.
There we go.
Yellow Lori. Oh yes, I hear echo. Do you have anything, Brother Ali? Because early before the stream, it was fine. We had sorted it out. What about do you have anything? Okay, T-Barb says it's good now. Okay. Thank you. Yes, we had an echo. We had an echo before the stream. We fixed it, and then it came back, but we fixed it again. Thank you so much, my love, for letting us know. Oh my God, book bewitched. Hi, yellow. Yes. Without any further ado, I'm going to let Brother Ali introduce himself. Before, I mean, he's going to touch on it, but he's an amazing spiritual teacher and mentor, and also a best-selling author. I have right now two best-selling books that he actually wrote. Just to tell you, to let you know that this is no joke. So, and so yes, author of the Now Purpose Manual, and as well as the Deity Linkage Manual. I still hear an echo. You don't hear it? Okay, T-Barb says yellow, Brother Ali. So, Brother Ali, the floor is yours.
Peace, peace. What did you want me to say?
Well, just introduce yourself before we jump in.
Okay.
I hear an echo.
Yeah, I
But
don't
on
think
your
it's too
side,
bad.
on your side, you don't hear it? Because I hear it on my side.
Yeah, I hear a small bit, but it may be bearable. I would say ask the chat if they're cool with it.
What about now? I don't hear it right now.
Testing. I don't hear it
Yes.
either.
Yes, Liz. I think it was on my side too. I changed that. T-Barb. What
Yep,
about now? Okay. Everybody's
it's going.
saying, yay.
Everybody get a round of applause to Lola now. Let's do this. There we go.
I may actually have a sound effect for that, for the applause. Maybe not loaded here, but whatever. Applause, applause, pat in the back for me.
Yep, we're good.
America says still a little echo. And okay, but all is good now. Okay, good. Awesome. Yellow Lisa, yes, Brother Ali, would you want to say a few words to introduce yourself before we go?
Okay, well, my name is Ali, S. Ali Myers. You can probably, best way to find out about me is go to my website, salimyers.com, or just Google me. But for lack of better words, I'm not big on labels, but just to give some clarity, you can call me a spiritual teacher, mentor, author, basically dealing with spirituality and metaphysics. So that's about it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Yes, that is it. Larissa says, "Oh, Lola, New York, North Carolina needs good look. Good looking smart dudes like Ali desperately." I agree.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh yes. So I do have yes, my love. We are going to be talking about altars. So I hope I've been advertising for quite a while. So I hope you have questions. But I do have 9 questions on my side, and of course, please, with your question, ask them or keep them. Yeah, keep them coming, because the more we have, the more question we have, and the more we will go. But yes, Brother Ali, to begin with, as we are talking about altar, I mean, what is an altar to begin with? Like, as I put that image right there, let's talk about altars. And of course, I did put a picture. To me, it showed an altar, but to many people it might not be clear. So what is an altar per se?
Okay, I'm gonna make if you're not familiar with me, I have a way of explaining things and making them very simple. So I'm gonna break
Yes.
this down to the simplest term. Okay, an altar is a bridge between the physical reality and the spiritual world. View the spiritual world as a housing for your ancestors, deities, and other spiritual beings. Obviously, the physical world is where you reside. So, an altar is a gateway or a telephone, if you would, between the physical reality and the spiritual world.
Nice. I like how you put it. That is actually a straightforward and really simple way to put it. That connection between two words, the two words. So why would one who even want an altar to begin with? I know you touch a little bit on it in this explanation, but why would, let's say, why would I want to build one? Like, what would it do for me? What would be the point in building one?
Okay, I'm not sure of I guess, the spiritual aptitude of your audience, So I'm gonna assume that most people are viewing this or in a not in a knowing. So most people realize that we have what many call ghosts, just for a simple term, ghost. You can say a ghost is a spirit or soul that did not go to the quote unquote light or to the afterlife. They stay more earthbound. That's another term for is earthbound spirits. With earthbound spirits, they require certain things. When you leave the body, what most people call death, you'll realize very quickly that you still require some sort of energy. And because you can't drink and eat, you still have to get some sort of energy. So what ghosts or earthbound spirits do is they attach themselves to people, places, and things. That's why you'll hear people say that I got something from an antique shop, brought it to my house, and now my house is haunted. They're not saying our house is haunted. They're just saying there was an energy attached to that particular item that they brought into their house. Same with bars. Bars are full of what? Alcohol. What is one of the names for alcohol? Spirits. So a lot of earthbound spirits like to reside in bars. So simply put, and getting to the punchline, what earthbound spirits do is they attach to energy sources. So say that you had an uncle who was an alcoholic and he transitions or dies and he goes in the spiritual realm but stays earthbound and he still wants that Michelob or whatever vice he partaked in, then he's going to go to the closest thing that he can get. It may be a person, it may be a bar. And some of these earthbound spirits have the tendency to attach to people's aura. Every human has an aura energy field around them. If you hook yourself up to a Kirlian photography where you can get your chakras and your aura photographed, if you have attaching spirits or attaching entities, you can actually see the energies in your aura or see kind of black spots or whatever. So what these earthbound spirits do, they attach to your aura, they attach to, like I said, bars, they attach to items. If they had a house that they were drawn to, they attach to that. And what the altar does, and this is very important, what the altar does is allow a safe way for that earthbound spirit to get sustenance and energy by way of the altar, as opposed to attaching to your aura, going to bars, etc., etc. So it's a way of feeding the ancestors so they don't have to feed off you or other things.
I like that actually, and that was really cool and broad explanation. That is so yes, my love, you heard it. Why you want to work with an altar, and in your explanation you talked about ancestral altar, and you said ancestral and deity. So what is the difference between the two?
Okay.
And can we mix two? Okay. That is actually two questions. Sorry. But first question: what is the difference between ancestral and deity?
Okay. An ancestor is a human that had your bloodline. Simple as that. Don't overthink it. Everybody has relatives, cousins, aunts, uncles, anyone that share your bloodline. When they transition, they become an ancestor. A deity, on the other hand, is a source of energy. Okay, and the way I like to explain deities is our ancestors in ancient civilizations in antiquity, what they did was identify certain energies. That's why when you look up the so-called mythologies, which is another kind of a misnomer because we look at mythology as false, but I digress. But when you look at the mythology, there was a god of lightning. There's a god of air. There are gods and goddesses of, when I say God, I'm speaking gods and goddesses. But there's deities of love, deities of money, deities of healing. For everything that we deal with on an earthly human basis, there are energy or a deity for that particular source of energy. So what deities are, it's a way for the creator to allow himself to repeat things. For instance, the sun comes up every day. There's an energy that allows the sun to come up. When the sun sets, then the moon is exposed. There's an energy behind the moon, and there's energies behind everything. Look at the universe as one big song, one big composition, and many different parts making the music to make the whole.
That is gorgeous. That is really cool. And so, can we what how do you call that? Can we mix a deity altar with an ancestral altar? Can we have one for both together, or we absolutely have to separate them?
Okay, I'm gonna preface it by saying this. Most people understand that we were in the information age, where information became abundant. I would say now we're in the misinformation age. Based on all the plethora of information, many people have taken that and we can say perverted the information or have their own agenda when they speak about certain things. So depending on who you ask, they may say something different than what I'm going to say. So I just want to be very clear. From my standpoint, from my experience, the way I teach altars, the way I've instructed other people to set up their altars, I have my altars with ancestors and deities both on the same altar. I give one offering plate that suffices both the ancestors and the deities, and I do it on one altar. So the simple answer is yes, you can combine the two.
Thank you so much for that elaborated answer, Brother Ali. You mentioned offering now. How does it? What kind of offer can we make on the altar? What is allowed? Is there such thing as one thing is allowed and something else is not? Like how is this process of offering?
Yep, I got you. Once again, I like to break things down very simplistic. Whatever you eat can be an offering. If you eat swine chops or pork chops and grits and corn, that could be an offering. If you're vegetarian and you only eat tofu, that can be an offering. If you eat pig's feet, that could be an offering. If you go to McDonald's, which I'm not suggesting people go to McDonald's, obviously, but if that's your lifestyle and that's what you do, then you can get McDonald's as an offering. So my point is, anything that you consume can be an offering. And the way I like to do it is, whatever I eat for dinner, I just make a extra plate. So say it's 5 people in your family. Just imagine that there's a 6th person, and then make their plate that way. Like I had boneless, skinless chicken thighs, macaroni and cheese, and some power greens, some roll greens, with some what you call it, with some dressing, poppy seed dressing. That's what it is. That's what I gave for an offering. Just gave exactly what I had, just a smaller portion.
Awesome. And how long do we leave offering on altars?
Once again, the way I teach is I teach that you give a regular offering, so that's typically daily. So you would take the old offering that you gave the previous day and replace it with a new offering. So like today, I take my old offering, discard it, and put a new offering on there. Very simple, once again.
Absolutely. And Oh, this is a good one. How do we charge altars? Like, obviously, if we have an altar, we we are to do some type of work with it. And so, like, let's say for crystal, when you work with crystal, you have to cleanse your crystals, you have to charge them, then put power into them and work with them. So how does that work for altars? How do we charge them?
Okay, the main way you're going to charge your altar is by the offerings. The offerings, just imagine like this. Every day you give an offering, say that's $1 that you're putting in the bank. So today you give an offering, tomorrow you give an offering. Fast forward at the end of the year, you've given 365 offerings or 365 days. That accumulates. Using that same analogy, if you put $1 in the bank today, put $1 in the bank the next day, at the end of the year, you're going to have $365. So that first offering or that first dollar may not seem substantial, but it's a compound effect. Warren Buffett said the secret of wealth is compound interest. I would say the secret of your altar is compound offerings. Just made that up on this show. So ding. So by giving an offering, you're charging your altar. Another thing that I do, and I also suggest, is that you chant a divine prayer at your offering. A divine prayer is like the Anabacoic, or also called a miracle prayer, the Usnisa Vijaya, the Lord's Prayer in ancient Aramaic, just certain prayers that are not in English. You start to chant those every time you give an offering. That would make your altar more powerful. If you look at temples, churches, synagogues, and all that stuff, they say so many prayers. They say so many offerings. That builds up the energy. I can literally feel the difference from when I first started giving an offering to now. When you go into the altar room at my house or whatever, you're going to feel a certain energy, a certain vibration, because it's been years of offering and prayers said at the altar. So that's the two easiest ways, by offering and by saying divine words of power, mainly prayers.
That is so cool. And how do you know? I know you said when you do all that, you feel the energy and all, but other than for those people who are not feelers, because not everybody, not all of us have the ability to sense those subtle energies like this. So for people who don't have this feeling gift high enough, how how would they know that their altar is charged?
Okay, I like to share with people to do the apple test, or just a piece of fruit. So take an apple, go to your local grocery store. It don't even have to be a GMO if you don't want to. Just go to your local grocery and get an apple, or get 2 apples. I'm sorry. Place 1 apple on your altar, and place 1 apple where you normally place it. If the apple on your altar lasts longer than the other apple, then you know your altar is holding a certain amount of energy and power. Lower your smiling, so you must have done this.
Yeah. I actually did, and I was so expecting. I mean, all those questions that I ask, of course, these are things that I know. But for the audience, I don't. I mean, I do have to ask those. But the apple test is really. I mean, my love, it is that thing is. That's the ish, because you know, I give offering to I have my own altar, and I make my own do the offerings. And the fruit, I remember when I started working with the altars, I will be shocked at how long the fruit will stay on the altar. I did the apple test, and I put an apple there, and 6 months later it still looked fresh. And the only reason I replaced it after 6 months was because I was freaking out. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. So I put another apple, and that apple that was on my altar for 6 months, I mean, I sliced it open. it was fresh inside. I could literally still bite into it and still have that same flavor and everything. I was just like, wow, this is something else. And so that is definitely this is definitely a good test to run. It's easy. All you need is apple, and do it. I mean, the longest I've gone with a single apple on the altar was 9 months. Over that, I said no. I don't want to go over 9 months, and still, even at 9 months, that other apple, that last 9 months was still fresh. It still looked fresh inside and out. So this is definitely, if you haven't you haven't tried this yet, you definitely, my loved one, to try this for and see for yourself. So, brother Ali, I mentioned, as I was speaking right now, I thought about crystals too, and are crystal allowed on an altar, or and if so, is there a specific type of crystal that is not allowed or not? Because crystals do attract energy too.
Yeah, I would caution, and I don't like making strong rules like do this and you can't do this. One thing about the line of spirituality and occult that I teach is that you do as thy will. So don't let anyone tell you what you should do and what you should not do. I'm a proponent of being a scientist and experimenting for yourself. But what I would recommend for people, if they feel like they're not having a strong connection to their altar, or they don't feel like their offerings are being received, I would say take the crystals off your altar. Me personally, I don't have any crystals on my altar unless I'm charging a crystal. At our shop, l9shop.com, we actually sell charged crystals. So I use my altar to charge items, which is another benefit of having an energized altar, is you can charge or empower items or whatever. So we can talk about that if you want to. But yeah, I would caution you to put crystals on your altar if you feel like you don't have a connection. But if you feel moved to put crystals on there, then by all means do that. But once again, for the record, I don't have any crystals on my altar.
Yes, I absolutely like what you just said. I tend to not keep crystals on my altar as well, and mainly because of their energy, the fact that they have their own energy, and so they have their own behavior. And I love to use my altar actually to charge things, like when I wanna do a ritual way ahead of time. I start by the altar and I put everything that I'm gonna be using. I put it there, and of course, I like to just let them know. That is mainly the deity altar. I like to let the deity on there know that what I'm doing, because there are things I don't want. I want to make it clear that, okay, what I'm putting here is not a gift for you. It's just me borrowing your space for you to charge this, and so I let them know that no, this is a gift for you. No, this is just to charge. So is this a practice that you will also recommend, or we just come and put the things put things down and off, down and off?
Yeah, you can do that, or you can, if you have a particular relationship with a deity, you can request that deity empower that item. Mm-hmm. And I don't. Once again, I like to make everything simple. So you don't have to use any kind of script. You don't have to go find something on the internet. You can speak to them exactly like I'm speaking to you. I'm a big proponent of speaking to deities, whoever. I've interacted with extraterrestrials, all kinds of different spiritual beings. I speak to them exactly the way I'm speaking. I don't come like, oh, I come forth, die, and I sit at your feet, and almighty Oshun, who blessed be, oh my God, don't do any of that. I talk to them like I talk to like my homies, so that's the way I get down. Now, if you're very ritualistic or ceremonial and you want to make it flowery or ritualize it, by all means, then you should do that. Follow your spirit. Once again, I do it very simple, and I speak to them in regular, simple English.
Absolutely, and I love that approach to myself. And and I've said it on the channel too. When you do your ritual, I mean, of course there are prayers out there on the internet, but I don't like to rely on those, because I'm a believer that everything that you say that comes from your heart is the purest. So so yes, I that is my practice too. I come there, I speak from the heart, rather than I mean, the only things that are not like from me per se, or prayers like I mean, sutras, like you mentioned, the Usnisa Vijaya Dharani, or Aloha the words just read, the Anabehwa. Those are the only one. Those and other mantras. Those are the only the exception, But like, if I want to request something, to make a request, to have a petition or something, yeah, it comes from the heart, and that is I'm with you on that. That's the message that I spread out, because yes, many people have asked me that, where do I find the prayer for this? What do I ask? What is it? Yeah, but you know your needs better than I do. What do you need at the moment? And don't think that because you don't necessarily see the ancestor or the deity, that it means they're not there, or you have to address them a different way than if they were in front of you. Of course, you still need to maintain the respect, because at the end of the day, yes, you're making a request to them, but at the end of the day, they don't work for you. So you still need to be respectful about that. But yes, prayers from your heart, and as simplistic as possible. I I love that. And now, yes, you did touch on those prayers in one of your explanation, the Lord Prayer, and all those the Usnisa Vijaya Dharani, the Anabehoa. What is, well, I'm mainly asking this for the audience, because I do have that understanding, but why would we tap into this type of sutras instead? It is true that prayers in different languages, in those ancient languages, come with so much power, but do we really need to incorporate those kind of prayers into our practices?
Need, no. Would it make it more powerful? Absolutely. So you don't need to per se, but it will make it more powerful. But look at it like this. When you look at ancient books of magic, or ancient grimoires dealing with magic and rituals and ceremonial magic and stuff like that, or if you want to talk about making talismans, the angelic script and different languages that you place on talismans or medallions or amulets, all the powerful tools are not in English. Why is that? Why are all the powerful tools not in English, Lola?
The power behind the language itself.
Because English is what you call a bastardized language. It doesn't have an origin. It's a little bit taken from here, a little bit taken from there, a little bit taken from over there. But when you go to the ancient languages, the ancient Aramaic, Hebrew, Sanskrit, like all these different languages, they are original and they have a lot of power to them. For instance, the Anabacoic is the way of speaking the word of God, or God's name, one of the 42 letters, or 72, I forget the number, but one of the loan names of God, 42, is the way of encoding the name of God within that prayer. Because when they were chanting it, they didn't want the people, that overseers, knowing that they were chanting, God's name or whatever. It's similar to like the slaves in America, where they were chanting certain things, but they were chanting it in English or whatever. When you do it in the Anabacoic or in these ancient languages, you're chanting and you're connecting more to the source as opposed to speaking a language that is a derivative of this language and taken from another language. It's just more powerful when you speak in the original tongue.
And that is actually very true. And I did I did feel that difference when I was learning the Anabehoa and the Usni Savijaya Dharani. And I have to say they're really powerful prayers, you know. And of course they are long. Not the Anabehoa not that long, but they do take time to memorize in their original language, and but they're worth it, definitely.
Yeah, it's when you learn a divine prayer like that, it not only applies to this lifetime, but it applies to the afterlife. If you notice and I'm not Bible pushing or anything by any means, but you can take knowledge from any source if you know how to extrapolate it. And in the Bible, it said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." They also talk about many layers of heaven. In metaphysics or quantum mechanics, they talk about the string theory. And they also talk about multi-dimensions. What they're alluding to is there is many different layers in the afterlife. There's not just one place. You know, if you've been conditioned to think that there's heaven and hell, one heaven, one hell, no offense, you've been misled. You know, I would challenge you to dig deeper, because the afterlife in our Creator is not that simplistic. It's more complex. It's a network, if you would. So what I'm getting to is, when you learn these divine prayers, when you learn words of power, when you learn magic spells, when you learn certain incantations and stuff like that, invocations, when you learn these things, those are things you can use in the afterlife. For instance, if you know the divine prayer like the Anabacoic, you can open up gateways and portals to other worlds, as opposed to just going into like the ghetto of the spiritual world, if you would. You can fast track your way to, you know what I mean, like somewhere plush. You know what I'm saying? So that's another benefit of learning these divine prayers.
That is so cool. And yeah, I don't know about you in the chat right now, but I'm having a lot of fun with Ali here, and he's answering our question. Do you, my love, have any questions in the comments? I'm looking there. I see you all talking among each other, which is really good, because that is how we build community. And Tokia Mike, Yellow, and welcome to the channel. Because I see, yes, peace, bro. Peace, bro, Ali. Thank you for being here, Tokia Mike. I hope I pronounced your name right. And of course, if you are new with us, please let me know in the comment by typing new, so that I gave you this acknowledgement of you as being new in the community. And of course, if you enjoy what you see on this channel, feel free to subscribe, because that is how we grow as a community. And we are doing this, I'm doing this not just for me, but for all of us. And because we are on the way of enlightenment. A lot of us are already awake, and many more are getting their eyes open more and more. So this is something that I do for the collective. I want to take you on a journey with me, on the same journey. We grow together, and that is that. So Tokia is definitely new with us, and I do play a lot of sound effects on here, and one of my favorite is the one I'm about to play right now for everybody who is new. So Tokia, this is for you. Alright, so Tokia said, I was looking at Ali's video on deity altar. This is divine timing. Yes. Absolutely. You were looking at those videos, and now here we are.
Voila.
Yes. So, do you, my love, have any question? Lori is saying, though tequila is tempting, just not for this purpose. Brother Ali, can we put alcohol on altars?
Let me ask you this, and I'm not asking you, Lola. You already know the drill. Did you have a drunk uncle in your bloodline? Did your grandma like to sip the little cognac? I'm not much of a drink. I drink Guinness when I do drink, so I'm not really versed on all the different alcohols. But Patron, I think that's a popular one. Did you have ancestors drink Patron? More than likely you did. Even though you don't drink alcohol or you're so spiritual, you'd stay away from that. Your ancestors did. Just like, for instance, I haven't eaten pork in probably like 20 years. So I take it upon myself to make sure I put some swine on there every once in a while. Because my ancestors ate hog maw and chitlins and all that bull crap, So, yes, you can put alcohol in your altar. I definitely suggest that you do. And tobacco and weed if you have it. I suggest you put all that on your altar.
So, yes, Lori says Guinness is lovely.
Yep.
I mean,
that's why I drink.
I personally don't drink beer, but I am. I mean, not that I have any judgment for those who do or do alcohol in general. Doesn't matter to me. Just because I don't drink it, that it means that it's bad or people would do or bad. No, it's just not my thing. I just can't. I mean, I can't hold my liquor. I can't handle it, so I just stay away from it altogether. But yes, Lori says Guinness is lovely. Talking about Guinness, I once saw a video where this is off topic, of course, and there was this video. People were making cakes with, of course, weed and also with beer, and Guinness was one of the beers that they had on the table and adding to the mix. So that is definitely something to. I mean, if you are into that kind of adventure, I wonder what the result will be. The cake with the weed and the beer all mixed together.
I'll pass. For sure. That's way too much.
So T-Borb is saying, I have something I don't know what to call, but the collection of things I have there just make me feel good. Crystal balls, gargoyle statue, incense burner, rocks, and crystals. It just, yes. Those are definitely all good, and this leads me to this question, Brother Ali. What do we need on an altar for it to be called an altar? Because some people like to complicate things, and it really is not complicated. Complicated. But so, what are the a few things that you would say that this is all you need? An altar kit, for instance. What would you say an altar kit should have?
Okay, this answer may shock many people, but most of you have an altar at your house already. Do you have a dead relative picture on the wall? Do you have ashes that someone was cremated? You have an urn? Do you have perfume that your great grandmother had, or do you have jewelry that your ancestors had? You said yes to any of that, you already have an altar. So what I suggest is you have something to represent the ancestors. I'm going to stick with just the ancestor altar. Have something that represents the ancestors. So it could be a picture, it could be the items that I just named, or you can write their name or write their last name, like Myers family, on a piece of paper or put it in a book or something. But an altar, well, I say the bare minimum is a glass of water that you keep fresh, a candle that you light before you give an offering, and that's akin to ringing a doorbell. When you go to someone's house, you ring a doorbell. The candle is like ringing a doorbell on the altar. It lets them know that you have something for them. So a table, I suggest, of wood or natural element, a candle, water, and something representing your ancestors. Voila,
Voila.
you have an altar. That was very complicated, wasn't it?
And voila. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Tokia Mike here asked, well, she didn't ask, but she has this comment. I was searching for a specific offering to give Ganesha. I created a makeshift altar next to my ancestor altar. So in Tokia's situation, let's say I have Ganesha on my altar. What type of offering should I do for Ganesha?
If you want to give an offering for a specific deity, then I would suggest that you go to Google and put in offerings for Ganesha or offerings for that particular deity. You can also get a book called Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Ills. The two books I recommend for altar work is Shameless, and even if I didn't write the book or alter the book, I still would recommend it. Is Deity Linkage Manual, and also Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Ills. The Encyclopedia of Spirits give all kinds of different offerings. They give different correspondences and everything on each specific deity.
You mentioned one of the books that you mentioned is one of yours, and I know that was not a self promotion, but I have to talk about this book. My love, for those of you in the room who are not familiar with Brother Ali, the book, the deity linkage. I'm going to come. Let me change scenes here. Okay, this right here, this book, the Deity Linkage Manual, is one of the book, if not the best one that you could get for altar work. When I started working with, of course, I started working with altar before I even met. I met Ali. I love to cover what's called Ali, Brother Ali. So before I even start to work with Brother Ali, I was already working with altars and all. But when I got that this book. If you are, we all have different deities that we resonate with, or even that I want to say that we belong to, even though I don't necessarily like the word belong to, but there are definitely deities that vibe most with you, who you should be working with. And this book, the Deity Linkage Manual book, I don't know why I didn't think of it when I was scheduling this event, but afterward I'll come back and add this information in the description. This is a book if you want to know who are your deity's parents. This is the book that you definitely need, because the book guides you through it. And as you see, there's when I got this, it was I got it on in iPad, because I didn't have room around. So you can get that in digital format or in paperwork. This is another book. But yeah, the Deity Linkage is going to help you identify who your deity parents are, and give you information about even your name, because the names that we were given at birth, when you turn them into numerology, because this book also touches on numerology, you break down your name, so you have more information that guides you even towards those deities that you are meant to work with, and how to work with. You have information about how to work with them, and other information, as in, okay, 2020, that's the year of XYZ deity 2021. This is who we honor in this year, and those kind of things. So yes, if you are really into this type of work, you are interested in this, or even if you are just curious, you don't have to have an altar to have to read the book, but I would definitely recommend if to satisfy your curiosity, the Deity Linkage Manual is the book that you should get and read. And of course, this is I'm talking about it. It's I didn't mean to do a promotion per se, but I'm speaking from experience. So yeah, definitely check it out and report back.
Yeah, I do you one better. I'm in a giving mood. The first 5 people that contact you, I'll give them a free ebook for free. So don't email me. Email Lola, and I will correspond with her, and she'll take care of you. I'll give you a discount code, so you go to the website, punch it in, and you can download it for free. First 5 people. And I want to say, this is actually me paying it forward. I had a very good friend I haven't seen in a while, but she came on the website, bought a certain amount of books, and she said just give it away. She just did it out of kindness of her heart, so I want to pay it forward.
Wow. Okay, so that is this is a great surprise. I mean, you saw my face. I didn't know about it until now. First of all, thank you so much for doing this, Brother Ali. And next thing, you heard it, my love. The first 5 people who send me an email will receive the Deity Linkage Manual free of charge to you. And the email is gothangelik@gmail.com. So if someone can type that in the in the email, in the message, yes, Gothangelik. Let's see, am I still? Oh, my phone. The phone I was watching following the stream turned off. But yeah, Gothangelik@gmail.com. Wow, thank you so much, Brother Ali.
Yep, and what I also suggest, if you're interested, because just like with the Apple test, I'm big on helping people not rely on people like me.
True, that is true. That is your teaching.
This might sound very counterproductive, but I know I've done my job when I don't have a job, if that makes any sense.
It does to me.
So just like with the Apple test, when you do that, Lola doesn't need to call me or be like, Ali, does my altar work? She knows her altar is working because she did an Apple test. So you don't have to believe anyone. You can do this for yourself. Same with the book. I would recommend Deity Linkage Manual, even if I didn't write it. And what I tell people is go to Amazon, put in my name, or put in Deity Linkage Manual. It has 4.8 stars on Amazon. And it has 300. It has a lot of reviews. It's a #1 bestseller all the time. It spends more time at #1, not #2, #1 for its genre continuously. And I say that humbly, but I'm saying that to say it's helped and it's benefited people. That book was divine. I wrote that book in 1 week. If I tell you the backdrop and the backstory of how that book came to be, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Yes,
just
please.
Trust me. Just go and read the reviews and take it from there.
Yes, you mentioned the backstories of the book. I'm curious.
I retired from. I have a semi truck. I have a CDL still to this day. So my last job per se was driving a semi truck. Okay, and at this time, obviously, I was on YouTube. I was writing articles. We had a radio show, Mind Right Radio and Blog Talk Radio, that was pretty successful. So I was already doing spiritual work or my spiritual business while I was working. But something happened where I had to be. It was like some freak injury or something like that, where I had to be home for a week. That's like I pulled something I couldn't, because my job, I didn't just drive a truck. I actually lifted and made deliveries to local restaurants. So it wasn't just me pushing a semi. I actually had to work or whatever. So my body, I think I had a back hurt or something, where I had some physical ailment. So I was off for a week. At that time, we were having people at the house, like spiritual group, if you would. probably like 9 people, 10, 12 people or so. And we were just building. And I wanted to come up with some system that helped people connect with deities. In my spirit, I absolutely showed me the connection between numerology and deities. If you look at deities, they all have a number, a color, a day of the week associated with them. With me being an expert in numerology, for lack of better words, I also knew that numbers had a correspondence. So I was like, you can correspond a number with a deity. So I came up with this. I came up with the deities associated with the numbers, and I gave it to the group at our next meeting. And they were all amazed. They were like, "Oh my God, that's a deity I've been working with, or I've grown to Ganesha, or this or that, or whatever." So I was like, you know what? I think this should be a book. So during that week I was home, I actually wrote the book in 1 week, and then
Wow.
published it. And the rest is history, as we say.
Absolutely, that's a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing it, brother Ali. Yellow PMG Mike, yellow. Yes, Tokyo Mike, 1 week. So thank you so much T-Barb for typing in the email address. So this is my email address, as brother Ali said. The first 5 people who sent an email to this one, Gothangelik@gmail.com. First 5 people will receive that Deity Linkage Manual on Brother Ali. So generous.
I'm in a good mood. I don't want people, because there's so many charlatans and so many people professing to be who they are, and I'm big on showing and proving. If you check my track record, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong or right with it. I'm just speaking from myself and my perspective. I don't ask people to subscribe. I don't ask people to like videos. I don't ask people to follow me. I don't do those things or whatever, because I don't want to make it seem like we're selling God or we're selling spirituality. But at the end of the day, I still have a family to support. I still have a livelihood. And as long as I give more than I ask for, I feel like I'm righteous in doing everything that I do. I pick no bones. I have a online store, sell altar supplies and stuff like that. I have no problems with that, because I feel like I've given so much information where you don't have to get anything from me. You can just take the information, apply it, and improve your life from there on.
And you're one of those people I've come across, because I mean, last night we had a Q&A where the audience were asking me questions about myself, my spirituality, how I got to where I am, and we did touch on a few spiritual people that I've met, and you're one of those that came on my path with so humble and always ready to help others without even asking anything in return. And you are an example of abundance, because what you put out there is coming to you tenfold or even more. And I've witnessed it. I've witnessed it before joining your because Brother Ali also has an accelerator program, and before joining that program, I was of course binging on your videos, trying to get to know you and all, but I was already witnessing those things, and then I joined your accelerator program, and I witnessed even more of this, such a wonderful community. And by the way, all that information, the information about Ali's community and the acceleration program is on the website that is going on the website is showing on your screen right now, salimyers.com. And from there you have information also about of course Brother Ali himself, what he does, information about his shop, because he does have a shop, a metaphysical shop that has a lot of things, like I mean, there is I have the name Kalia, what is it? Oh, it's went away again. Kalia Zakatechichi. Oh,
Kalia
Kazek.
Zakatachichi.
Yes. That is one of the herbs that, to find it, first of all, okay, if you want to work with your, with dreams and meditation and all those that good stuff, this is definitely one of the herbs that you need. But the other thing also about this herb is, well, first of all, is the bitterness of that plant. I don't think I've ever tested anything as bitter, but it works. And the other thing about that herbs is it's also one of those herbs that I came to realize that it's one of those herbs that people also fake, because I did place uh, place an order for it on in a different site, and it was advertised as Kalia Zaketechichi, but it wasn't. And that is also to say that this is because of how powerful this herb is, and sometimes even rare. Many people try to replicate it somehow or even mix it with something else. So if you want the real, like, you want to make sure that everything that you receive is from a good source, and it's you receiving what you are paying for. Yes, that is you're receiving what you're paying for, and also the product loaded with energy for you, ready to use and all, or even ancestor money. Yes, definitely check out Brother Ali's website, salimyers.com, because once you land there,
L9shop.com.
yes, once you land there, there is a tab for the shop, L9shop.com. It will take you there, and that is the store. But yeah, I'm so glad I was able to bring you on the channel, Brother Ali. I mean,
Yes.
I've been thinking of it ever since I told my community here last year that we were going to talk about altars. Ever since then, it was, I believe, in November or October last year. Ever since then, I was like, no, I need to do it right and have Brother Ali talk about it. I mean, yes, I can talk about it because this is my practice as well, but I wanted you to bless us with your presence, your energy, your
Oh,
knowledge to to share this information. So thank you so much for this, and the gift that you are doing. You're giving my community your presence, and also this the book. The book for those first 5 people reaching out. This is oh my god, thank you so much, T-Barb. So this is the link for the shop, for Brothers Ali shop, www.l9shop.com. So that is where you will find all your metaphysical products, that you desire.
yep.
And so I'm looking, and oh, thank you so much, Tiba. Tiba is she's on point tonight. She's like
Yay, T-Bar.
she's
Yay.
like, yep, SIMario.com full numerology chart name birthday. Yes,
Yep.
that is on there too. And this is on screen. You have indeed the website for, so yeah, you have all good stuff on Brothers Ali website. So this is someone who've been doing this for a long time, and he give it to you straight, as simple as possible, and make sure that, as he said himself, he makes sure that well, even though he teaches you, don't rely on him, because at the end of the day, you are a creator and you are who you need. So he is there to work with you, hold your hand on your journey, but it doesn't mean that you have to to cling on him or anyone else, as a matter of fact, because again, we are creators and we have the power that we need to manifest what it is that we want to manifest. And of course, the more the mirror. So having a community that thinks the same, and we help each other in this journey, because this is a journey that can be hard sometimes. It can be hard sometimes. So we need everybody that we can rely on, and I'm so glad that I met Brother Ali, that I met this community, and that we all grow together. And it's so beautiful to witness each other grow, and from where some of us were last year to where they are now. So it's a beautiful thing. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, well, let me give you your flowers, because with all the recent past, like DMX being the last one, peace and blessing be upon them, people speak great things after someone transitions. So after DMS passed, people come out of woodwork. He was my biggest influence, and he was the best ever, and all these things. But where was that same energy when he was alive? So we're reminded every time we lose someone, not even lose someone, that's a dumb way of saying it, but when someone transitions, that's when we're reminded to appreciate people while we can speak to them like this. So I want to acknowledge you for the growth I've seen from you.
Thank you so much.
Ever since I met you, you've always had this abundance of light to you already. But even though you had an abundance of light, because some people start out where they may be in advanced classes from the jump, but they still can improve and grow. Yes. You have grown and developed yourself, and you have increased your work ethic to the point where you're able to help inspire other people to do the same thing. So I commend you for the work that you're doing, Lola.
Thank you so much, Brother Ali. It meant so much to me. Thank you. So thank you, T-Bars. It shines brightly.
Yeah, she sure does. Yep, she sure does.
So I'm looking.
Oh, thank you, T-Bar. Thanks for the compliment. Appreciate that.
T-Barb is on point. She's
yeah. She's good. I might have to steal her from you. I might have to steal her.
She's on point. Like, we mentioned something and boom, she got it. She got the link. Thank you so much, T-Barb, and all the moderators with us tonight. And for all of you who made it to the live stream, yes, I saw you coming, but I'm glad you are here. Roland, Mike, Sharon, I see you, so I don't want you to feel like I forgot about you. I did not. Roland said something earlier. Hello everyone, it's been a difficult day, crying a lot. I'm so sorry to hear that. Roland, Capitol Policeman Remembrance at the Rotunda, the George Floyd trial, and the young man killed on Sunday in Minnesota. Yes, I can definitely I do relate to that. It's all the energy is heavy right now with all those occurrences and all. And now that you are here, Brother Ali, how would you recommend we deal with such when we find ourselves overwhelmed with all those occurrences as Roland is right now? What would you say to her so that she doesn't feel so overwhelmed with such emotion and feelings?
Okay, once again, I'm going to assume that you're not into spirituality and metaphysics. I'm just going to assume that you're a beginner or new. So no offense to you if you're not. Please don't take any offense to this, because I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to everyone. But we have to understand that this is not true reality. This is not true reality. Reality is more like a dream than this reality. When you go to sleep, you're more into reality than this reality. Even though this seems real, but have you ever had a dream that seemed very real? You ever had a dream that seemed very real? where you woke up and feel like you was falling asleep because the dream felt more real than this reality. If you've ever astral traveled or lucid dream or just had a very vivid dream, they seem more real. Your senses are more engaged than when you're in this reality. That's because this is temporary. And can I safe to say it's fake? The way I teach and the way I view this reality, I view it like a movie. You can go watch a movie and be like moved emotionally, or you can be motivated, like Pursuit of Happiness. I remember watching that movie damn near every day because it was so motivating to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was a fake movie, but it felt real. You see what I'm saying? When you were a
Absolutely.
kid watching thrillers and horrors, if I was scared to go to sleep because I thought Freddy was going to come get me. You feel what I'm saying? I literally thought Freddy was going to come get me, even though intellectually I knew it couldn't happen. Because humans are emotional creatures, emotional intelligence is usually more important than intellect. So intellectually, we know that this isn't real, that this is temporary, that the body is temporary, but yet so many humans put so much precedence over the physical world more so than the spiritual world. So I wanted to preface by saying that. Secondly, and once again, I say this with no, please do not take offense to what I'm saying. I'm just speaking from the heart and I'm being as gentle as possible. Please believe it's coming from a righteous place. But if you didn't watch the news and if you weren't on social media, you would not know about any of those events. You wouldn't. Let's just be real. If you didn't click on something and somebody told you that happened, then you would be oblivious. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. When you don't know, you're more peaceful. The stuff you talked about, I don't know. Why? Because I'm not on social media. My suggestion is focus on your crib, your house, what's going on in your home. Right now, you may have a child that needs you, or you may have a mother that needs you. But we're so preoccupied and consumed with events that we cannot change. Now, if you want to go somewhere, go to Ferguson, go to where their activity, if you're moved to do that, then by all means go do that. But for the most part, most people are keyboard gangsters where they're just going to type on the keyboard showing their frustration. I'm mad. We need to do this. We need to do that. Meanwhile, they do nothing. So I suggest people unplug from the matrix and go and plug into your spirit. Once you understand that this is not real, this is an illusion, no matter how real it seems, you'll put spirituality above the physicality and realize that everyone has karma. Everyone has a role in this movie. There are actors that play the villain every movie, but they're not a bad person. They're playing a villain in the movie. The cops that are killing people, they're playing a villain in the movie. We have to get to a spot, hunky-dory, where we're kumbaya, everybody come together. Regardless of our race, gender, preferences, religious orientation, all these divisive things. When we come together and I view an enemy or an outsider and I look at them and I see myself, that's when our planet will ascend and go from 3 density to 5th dimension density, or go to the golden age that the ancestors prophesied. But as we keep killing, stealing, robbing, raping, lying, cheating, doing all these things, polluting the planet, polluting everything, polluting our bodies, until we get over that, we're not going to be accepted by the higher worlds. That's why the extraterrestrials are called the Watchers. They watch because this is a show. It's like you go to the zoo and watch animals, there are higher beings watching us like we're animals. And if you view Earth from a God's eye view, you will see that we're just a bunch of cancers on this planet. We're ruining this planet because we're worried about the wrong damn thing.
Yeah.
View your stranger as you view yourself. Practice love, peace, and all that good stuff, and work on yourself. And I promise you, we get 2% of the planet to do that. This planet will ascend.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Tibor, yeah. I love your show, Brother Ali.
Say what?
T-Bob was saying she loves your shop.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes, Tokia Mike doesn't watch the news. T-Barb saying the same, right? I'm staying away from it all, and I'm the same way. You know, I don't watch the news at all. I try to keep myself away from those from, not because I don't care, but I do care. I do care, but there is also I also want to keep balance, to keep in balance with myself, my emotions, my feelings, and because when I'm balanced, then I'm more productive and I move forward rather than if
Gotcha.
if I stay stuck in those frustration, I mean the anger rises, comes in, the anger, the frustration, and I just take you end up sticking to that place, and at the end of the day you're not doing anything. I mean, there's nothing you can do but vent, rant, and that's about it. But you're not moving. You just stay in this globe of negative emotions and feelings. So yes, as Brother Ali said, I will also say try to stay away from the news as much as possible. And if you want to see, to listen, to watch the news or listen to it, maybe 10 minutes in a day, not more.
Okay, I got one. Once again, I spoke that message basically is for beginners or probably most people on the spiritual path, just to be honest. But for those who feel like they're advanced or spiritually mature, as I like to put it, or enlightened, you should be able to view and be around anyone. Let me explain. When you
Yeah,
become
that's true.
spiritual, first thing you say is, I need to cut off people. I need to cut out things in my life. I need to stay away from this environment. I need to stay. And I was there. Then I got to a point where I knew who I was. I was confident in my path. I didn't feel like I needed to wear my spirituality in my sleeve. I didn't feel the need to say namaste and ashe and, peace and blessings and beloved and all these different catchphrases. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but a lot of people use that to validate and prove who they are. When I got to the point where I didn't feel like I had to verify and prove who I was able to go and be around anyone. I was able to view anything and not be emotionally moved. Right now, I can watch 24 hours of cop beatings and I'm not going to be moved where I'm like, oh my God, it's all bad. I'm going to say it's a movie. This isn't real. The soul is real. These people's souls are going to somewhere and they're intact. It's only the physical shell that is broken. So for those who feel you're spiritually mature, you should be able to be around any person, place, and thing, and not be removed from who you are. You should be able to be yourself anywhere.
True, very true. Okay, Tiwab. God grant me the serenity to accept the thing I cannot change. Yes, courage to change the thing I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yep. And I'm not seeing any questions in the stream.
You don't have any questions?
Yes, if you have any questions, please leave them in the stream. I'm scrolling back up to see if I missed anything. But yes, I don't see any. Where is it? I don't see any comment, any question coming up. So, but yeah, with this being said, this was really again, thank you so very much, Brother Ali, for blessing us with your presence on the channel, and for accepting to sit with us, because Maral, believe it or not, I thought, Brother Ali, that the show can be as long as you want it to be, but my community also have usually a lot of questions, and they love this type of topics. So we might go longer than an hour, and Brother Ali was like, oh, I'm fine, we go as long as your community will want. If they have questions, we answer them however long it would take. So thank you so much for being so available for us, Brother Ali. And
Oh, very welcome, very welcome. It's honestly an honor to do what I do. This isn't work, so it's an honor.
And T-Barb says, I don't know enough to know what to ask. Just discuss whatever you like. And when we get there, T-Barb, and this is also the reason behind me doing this channel to begin with. I know I have a lot of tarot going on the channel, which is a passion of mine. I am a tarot reader. I read tarot, but originally when I created this channel, well, when I deviated from what I was doing before to spirituality, it was to, of course, share my own journey, my own spiritual journey, and with you all, and show you. I mean, learn from each other, bring to you what it is that I do to, well, pretty much keep saying, not to impose it on you, but yeah, and it's been fun. We've been doing this for what, about a year now. So this has been fun. So Tokia is asking, oh, where is it? How often do you offer the Master Accelerator course? I've missed out on 3 classes.
Okay, it's not a course per se. What I suggest is go to spiritualaccelerator.com and read all the information. I don't like selling it or talking people into it. I just point you to the website and you read it. And if your spirit says this is something you want to do, then go ahead and do it. Also offer after the first month, if you're not satisfied or want to like drop out, you get a refund. I can tell you I've given 1 refund in like 3 years. So, but it's like ongoing. It doesn't matter when you join per se.
I agree to that. I was part of the accelerator program, and lots of informations there too, I have to say.
Yep, you can click on the module library and see all the different content. We got hundreds of hours worth of content on there.
This is so cool. So I don't see any other question coming in. So
Okay.
with this being said, thank you so much again, Brother Ali. Is there something that you'd like to say before we call it a night?
Yeah, what the message I want to keep reiterating is, no matter who you follow, who you look up to, you have to understand that this is your path and you need to be the master of your path. You do that by evolving your soul, by raising your consciousness, and by improving your body or maximizing your body, mind, body, and soul. From my experience, if one is off kilter, then everything is off balance. So once you're elevated mind, body, and soul, that's when you're truly, well, I say you can look in the mirror and view yourself as your own master. I challenge you to get to the point where you view yourself as your own master as soon as possible and stop worshiping people, because you're building up humans and building up their ego and they're leading you astray. Follow your spirit, not humans.
Whoa, that was I got you. That was so very well put. So yes. Thank T-Borb. Yes, I concur. Very good advice, Brother Ali. I concur to that. And Tokia is yes, Prish.
It's how I truly feel. It's not just something that sounds good. It's how I truly feel. You follow me for any bit of time. That's a repeating thing.
Absolutely. So thank you so much again for everybody who came in tonight. Thank you for your presence with us, and I hope to see you in the next live stream or video upload. thank you so much for the support, or the support that you've brought to me and the community. Until next time, please be well, keep safe, and much love to you. See you soon.